Welcome to the Frank Skinner Absolute Podcast with Frank Skinner, me, Emily, her, and Gareth, him.
Hello.
Hello. And we just did the show, and we always say that, but people should know by now. I like the fact that people listen to the sort of old podcasts. Somebody this very Saturday morning sent in a text and said, I was listening to when you were talking about your favourite primate in TV and film, which I'd completely forgotten about. And then they identified a primate that they didn't like and thought we could perhaps talk about ones that we didn't. They didn't like...
it was the monkey from Friends, Ross's monkey in Friends they didn't like. That was their worst monkey.
Yeah. It's quite a tricky one, isn't it, worst monkey?
I think Clyde from Every Which Way But Loose was everyone's favourite.
But he was an orange Utah. I don't think that makes him a monkey. He's certainly simian.
He's in the family, isn't he?
Oh, well, he looks like he's in mine. There is gingerness in our family. I'm not ashamed of that. Yeah, Clyde. He's dead now, I bet.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
We did announce that Bouncer. We had
don't give this away.
Don't give it away.
Oh no, we made quite a sombre announcement on the show.
He was so lovely, Mark Little.
Yeah, Mark Little was our guest today. You know, remember Mark Little from? Actually, you remember Mark Little.
Remember
it's
Mark
never
Little
right to
from
talk
the
about.
show.
Yeah, he was on, and
Joe Mangle from Neighbours. I've said it.
You've said it. He was a very nice chap.
It was lovely.
And talking about his new show, and I don't know about you, but I really like the show. I know you've told me to talk it up in these intros, but today I can do it without any fear of contradiction. Perhaps a slight fear of contraception, but I am Catholic. No, I thought it was great. I'm tempted to listen to it myself.
Steady on.
No, well, I probably won't, but I don't like, I don't want to be as a dog returning to its own vomit.
You really are bigging up the show.
Now, that's what Dr. Johnson said about Scots people who go back to Scotland.
Did he?
Yeah, he could be a bit racist.
Well, we talk about Dr. Johnson does get a mention on the show.
Yeah. Anyway, bear in mind that we've got another podcast out this week. We've started our midweek minis. That's what I'm calling them. And so it's podcast heaven for you podcast fans. And we hope you enjoy it all. And here we go.
Absolute Radio.
Max Clifford's jacket! Sorry, I was just looking at a picture of Max Clifford's jacket in the newspaper, and I'm a little shaken, I'll be honest with you. I'll get over it, it's going to be all right. So that was... Isn't that lovely? That's Claire and the Reasons, Wake Up You Sleepyhead. Ooh. Yeah, I love that. So what he's gone for, Max, he's having to read out Vanessa
Peroncel.
Yes, Policel's thingy. Statement. Yes, OK, thanks. I don't normally work with a prompt. And,
looks like you should start.
So he's gone out with this bit of paper to read to the press, and what he's gone for, it's a sort of, I'd call it a bomber jacket. It's at the waist, but it's black. And at the top, there's a sort of a panelled section on the chest of a sort of a shine, almost like a patent leather, quilted.
Yeah, quilted.
A bit like the old goalkeeper shirts. And obviously Max has thought, I better go and read that statement. That'll be loads of photographers. I know what I'll wear. I'll wear that that thing with the quilted, like the PVC. Maureen, have you seen that black jacket? You know, the one with like the quilted, shiny, leathery... Yeah, where... Well, why is it in there? I need it now. Oh, that's what's happened with Max. He's actually looked in the mirror and thought, yeah, that'll do me for the
looking
press statement.
good.
Hey, come on, let's go quilted.
It's got a slight blouson quality to it, which you don't often see these days.
There's a hint of blouson.
Yeah.
And the jacket, the actual upper, the collar looks like there's an element of knitting going on. Oh, honestly, he's got...
That woman's had some blues on.
Oh. Well, I can only... how can we celebrate this? Let me see now. This'll do it. What a start it is on this fabulous
Saturday morning!
And we're off on... this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily. I'm with Gareth. I got pig iron. I got all pig iron.
What is that pig iron thing?
It's a thing that Lonnie Donegan, who's, as you know, is very popular on Absolute Radio. He's played a lot. He used to do a song. It's the Cumberland Gap. And in the Cumberland Gap, it's about a railway driver. You don't want to know this, but he's getting to the Cumberland Gap. He pretends that he's got some stuff on board that he doesn't have to pay.
Okay.
And then as he goes past, he brags, "I got pig iron. I got all pig iron."
Well, he would
and you
brag.
can imagine the administrator saying, "Pig iron? What is that?" But anyway, so that's what happened.
In the words of Vanessa Parencel, oh my God.
Exactly, yeah. Apparently she was very upset about John Terry losing the captaincy. I bet she was, yeah. Anyway, life goes on. I think we all have to just put a brave face on it. Mark Little is our guest this morning. Remember Mark Little, who used to be in Neighbours?
Yeah. That's awful.
Yeah.
Pardon you.
Didgeridoo?
Oh, it doesn't sound very nice, though.
No, well, it's not very nice. It's a didgeridoo. The Aborigines, they don't do nice. They do vital.
It's so low.
It is very low. I once, I was being light-hearted. I said to this didgeridoo player in Edinburgh, do you know All By Myself? And he just ignored me. I thought it would be possible if you were very good at the... Wouldn't it? That's what they need to incorporate, melody. Yeah. I've always said that about the Aborigines. What do they whistle? You can't, Oh, I love that didgeridoo player. What is that? That's me whistling. Oh, I thought it was an insect. Oh, God, I forgot I'd thrown that. OK, so, thanks for getting that, Gareth. I love you sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. I think we'll have some more music.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, Maureen, look, the stitching on the quilted section has come undone. Now, 2 of the diamonds have gone into 1. I don't want to be out there reading a press statement. There's people saying, well, what is that, Max? Some sort of decahedron? Anyway, that was Ocean Coliseum. And sounding quite nice, I thought.
We had a text in correcting you, Frank.
Oh.
You mentioned a Lonnie Donegan song.
Lolly,
earlier.
not Lolly.
Oh, did I say Lolly?
Lolly Donegan
My
would be a
little
great name.
nickname.
Yeah.
The Lonnie song you were referring to, Mr. Skinner, is Rock Island Line and not Cumberland Gap. Regards,
okay.
Paul Wilson.
Well, all I can say to you is I may be right and I may be wrong, but you're going to miss me when I'm gone. Oh, the Rock Island Line, the Rock Island Line, the road to the Rock Island Line.
You had an aneurysm.
I've had 3 aneurysms simultaneously. One, I must say, was not quite as bad as the other 2, but I think it's still registered on the aneurysm scale. If anyone at home has had an aneurysm, we're not making light of it. Don't think that for a second. No. And relax. I've had my hair cut. I'm quite pleased with it.
Yeah, I like it.
I actually went in and the woman said, "What would you like?" And I said, "I'm thinking early Morrissey." And she was quite young, Australian. I thought she won't know who Morrissey is. And she said, "Yeah, that's the look at the moment." And I thought, well, I'm liking the sound of it being the look. So that's what I've
I like it, Frank. It looks quite military.
Yes, well, short back and sides always does. There's an element of poor house about it, but it's. But I tell you what I like. I said because I've learnt now what I need, and I say clippers on 3 all the way around. So
what does that mean?
setting.
Really short?
That's the setting.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Well, it looks like this.
Oh, okay.
And she started really going at it, and it's a great thing when the hair's dropping off you with the clippers. It's a very...
Tell me about it.
Yeah, you can see why sheep have that contented smile on their faces, because it's lovely to feel it, just to feel all the hair coming off. And I said, it's great, isn't it, with the clippers to just go at it. She said, yeah. She said, I'd love to do this to my dad, but I don't think he'd let me. And I thought...
Oh.
Just a minute. What do you mean? I looked at this to my dad. Like, obviously I'm somebody's dad who's thinking, he's still trying to relive his youth. And I'm sitting there in the chair now, abused, I felt.
How old was this creature?
Oh, she was probably, I'd probably say early 20s.
Oh, how very dare
I wish I could do this to my dad, she said. Yeah, the clippers were a bit, they sounded a bit like that. Yeah. So that was, I'd already had the difficult situation because she said, so you working today?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I'm working after this. And she said, what do you do? And I said, well, she was nice, don't get me wrong, I'm making it sound like she wasn't nice. she just noticed I was old and wasn't good enough to not refer to it. I said, oh, no, I thought, I'm prepared to lie if someone asks me what I do if they don't know, because if you say you're a comedian, I mean, people, you know, especially a hairdresser, I don't want them to think that gives them licence to do something comical with my hair.
Yeah.
Something
That's
ridiculous.
true.
Yeah.
You don't want a comedy hairdo.
No, I don't want that sort of castellation that you get on castles, you know, like an uppy bit and a downy bit and an uppy bit. I can't have anything too castle-like because I get Tourette syndrome. So, I'm sorry. I'm apologise.
She asked you what you did.
So she asked me what I did, and I said, well, it's complicated. I'm a comedian. And she said, oh.
Is that what she
Yeah, that was
said?
the end of that. So I thought, maybe she thinks I'm being, you know, jocular. But they were listening in there. They were listening to Absolute 80s, which, in case you don't know, Absolute... They have a whole string of other channels behind our backs going on. With no DJs as well, almost as if they're moving towards that as an ideal. Anyway, Absolute 80s, as you might guess, is for people in their 80s. There's a lot of Lonnie Donegan on there. And,
It's my favourite.
yeah, and a lot of stuff about the war.
They keep replaying the abdication speech, don't they?
There was some quite disparaging stuff about Hitler I thought was unnecessary. And the jingle is the sound of a doodle bug, which apparently sends the poor listeners into paroxysms of fear. Anyway, they had Absolute 80s. Now, there is a song, there is probably one song I can think of that whenever it's played, I have to dance. And I mean, I have to dance. And it came on in the shop, and I thought, oh, no. This was before I got into the chair. It's that one, don't leave me this way.
Oh, Blonsky beat.
I can't survive. Well, if I've gone slightly off mic, it's because I'm dancing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I don't sing along with it, because, but I do have to dance, right? And I thought, I can't dance in here. There's, you know, it was early in the morning. The other people in there that look sullen. And I did that dancing sitting down that you do, like when you're at a club.
Oh, shuffling in your seat.
Yeah, my feet were moving all over the place, but I was still seated. I found it made me, if anything, more agile that I was sitting, because I did things with my feet I couldn't have done if I was standing, unless I was wearing one of them jetpacks like Roger Moore. I think we'll have some adverts, and then I'll tell you what happened to me when I bought a watch. You won't believe it.
Absolute Radio.
Okay, so this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. We've got Emily, we've got Gareth, we've got Pig Iron. Oh, no. I've been there before. Let me see. Oh, here we go. See, just to give you a bit of a prompt at home. So, so I went to buy a watch. My watch broke. How often do you buy a watch? I buy a watch very rarely.
Oh, I buy them all the time.
No,
you
I
need to
don't-
update your look.
I don't buy them for fashion. I wear them until they break, and then I go and buy another one. So I went to this very nice watch shop in Covent Garden, and I just had the "Don't Leave Me This Way" experience when I have to dance. And hold on a minute. No, Maureen, I don't need a vest. I've got the quilted area. Got to keep out any cold winds. Max is very interrupting to that. Anyway, so I went into the watch shop, and there is also a song. This is absolutely true. There's a song that I have to sing along to, and that came on in the watch shop. So I just got over "Don't Leave Me This Way." I went into the watch shop, and they were playing Roy Orbison's "I Drove All Night." And the trouble is with that, it's quite high. And if you're singing it at home, you know, in a shop, if you're going, ba-da-da-da-da, people are okay. But if you're going, I drove all night, and I was doing the verse before, and I don't know the words to the verse, even though I always sing. So I'm going, and the woman I could see her finger was 1.5 inches from the panic button. But anyway, I bought a nice watch, and that was that. But what a coincidence! Those two songs that have that effect.
You
on
didn't
me.
dance whilst you were singing in the falsetto voice.
No, I don't mix them up, dancing and singing.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't think I'm licensed to do that. Anyway, that was my week. How's your job going, Em?
Oh, I love it. I'm at Instyle magazine, everyone, in case anyone doesn't know, which is a fabulous fashion magazine. Not Instep magazine, not In Soul magazine, like Frank has called it, but In Style magazine.
In Style, yeah.
Yeah. And I've
It's
got
one for ramblers. You know when you go through a kissing gate, and there's that moment when you sort of stop in a... Okay.
I've got a fabulous GBF at the magazine.
Okay.
You've all gone very silent.
Yeah, what is that?
It stands for gay best friend.
Oh, you've got a gay best
Yeah,
friend.
my
Okay, well, you
GBF.
would have at a fashion
Of
thing.
course.
I think every woman should have a gay best friend, and indeed every man.
And he's good because he keeps me in check. He just keeps a little eye on me, like my food intake, maybe. So, for example, I was grazing a bit yesterday, straying towards some Toblerone, and I heard this voice going, It was brilliant. So I thought, I'll think about that.
Is he very slim, indeed?
Oh, he's amazing looking. Very
Toblerones, so they're quite a thing to take on, aren't
Yeah.
they? Because I love Toblerones, but I am always hurt when I eat them. There's always an injury.
Well,
They
you've
stick-
got to snap the triangle off. You can't try and bite the
No,
triangle
you see, I
off.
try to. Yeah, I try
So
to
do
go
I.
in
Put it
there.
all in one go.
Yeah,
Mistake.
I think I've been bruised by a Toblerone.
Well, I did that yesterday. I put it
A
all
novel
in.
by Beryl Bainbridge. Yeah, you put the whole.
Well, I did.
Not the whole thing.
Well,
That's
I did.
ridiculous.
And then my GBF looked over at me and he went, "It's okay, curves are back in."
Oh,
I loved it.
Did he mean
But,
try a curly whirly? Sorry, Gareth.
Yeah, no, Toblerone's a triangle, aren't they? So it's similar. The
Were
same,
we
it's-
working on the
yeah,
same
I think
lines?
we were on the same. It was
Well,
same
we like
premise,
those
but-
strange men in overalls that work on the Rock Island line. The Rock Island line. I think I've got to stop having so many E additives. We had an email from Sam Cook, I believe he's called. I'm not saying Sam Cook in a very South American. From Sam Cook. Hey, Sam Cook sent me an email. I said, Sam, I didn't know you was computer literate. He said, hell boy, you betcha. And Sam, I was talking last week. I was saying I haven't got a catchphrase, and I was looking if anyone could suggest one for me. And he suggested, what about if your catchphrase was "stamp the bare hand of Her Majesty"? Well, at first, as you can imagine, I was confused, but then Sam explains, and he said, "Stamp the bare hand of Her Majesty." So Frank for stamp,
Which
right?
so far.
Frank the bare hand, the skin.
Yeah.
Right, of Her Majesty, E.R. So actually, stamp the bare hand of Her Majesty's code for Frank Skinner.
Oh, that's quite clever, Sam.
It's extremely clever. Whether it's up there with "nice to see you nice," I don't know. But imagine me coming on and saying, "Oh, it's Frank Skinner, ladies and gentlemen." Yeah. I stamped the bare hand of Her Majesty. Hey! Maybe I could split it up. Stamp the bare hand, and the crowd go, "Of Her Majesty." And, we laugh like there's no tomorrow.
Should catchphrases need footnotes though? That needs quite a lot of explanation.
There's a lot of
Yes.
explanation,
But
Frank.
once I'd got, once that was out,
like the Da
there-
Vinci Code. That is
Yeah, but that's all right.
And
that
it's
was very
Frank
popular.
Skinny R. It's Frank Skinny
Frank
R.
Skinny R.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Frank Skin, yeah, but now you're being picky.
Yeah.
I think once I'd explained it, it would be there'd be an internet explanation. There'd probably be a bit of a, theories about where it had come
Theories.
from, whether it was some sort of I was going to kill the Queen at some point. This thing, do you kill the Queen or do you just wait? And so I don't know if I'll be able to use it, shame, but I thought it was clever. That's what I like. And I like clever. Now, the next song I'm going to play, let me say this, I'm a big fan of Jamie T. Now, some might say, isn't he a bit youth for you, Frank? I say to them, just cut my hair and get on with it. But this song is by Jamie T. And I thought we'll get lots of, letters and emails and stuff about Emily. Everybody fancies Emily listens to this show. So, no, it's true though, isn't it? There's always men trying to, and I sent
Trying to what?
trying to.
Well, sending you cupcakes for a start.
Yes.
Maybe
I did
to
get
mention
cupcakes this morning, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
What are they? D cupcakes or C cupcakes? I think they're tea cupcakes. So this is a message to all those men. This is a beautiful song called Emily's Heart.
Bottle of wine and old.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
There you go, the ultra-talented Jamie T with Emily's Heart. Oh, isn't it sad? I've played some quite gentle stuff this morning. Still, fall coming up.
Oh, God.
I tell you what I was shocked this week was that Sharon Davis. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
swim with the big shoulders.
She's on Dancing on Ice.
She's dancing on ice, which I bet she's praying for a melt. Because one good thaw, she'd be the best person in that competition by a mile.
She'd storm it.
But that Jason, who must be somebody's GBF.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He wouldn't be mine.
Do you see what he said to her? He said, I was watching him, he said, it reminded me. Now, he said, of when you look back into the toilet bowl. I mean, if there's anyone having breakfast, I'd just turn away. Not that turning away from the radio is a big help. But unless you've got very sound directive ears. Anyway, he said, watching you ice skate is like watching fecal matter go round and round after you've flushed, and then when you want it to disappear, but then it hasn't disappeared. I mean, it's too much. Poor Sharon was
That's
absolutely...
horrible.
It is.
And just because she was wearing, it was a nice coffee-coloured...
Oh, don't.
Oh, sorry.
Don't,
It was her skating suit.
Yes, but I mean, she smells... She probably smells a little bit of chlorine, you'd imagine, at all times.
He
But
can talk, he's hideous. He looks like a circus ringmaster. And he looks like his beard was painted on with burnt cork.
No, I think his beard was painted. I read that in TV Quick, that his beard was painted on with wet cork. Wet cork? Wouldn't work. So, I'll tell you what I did like about it, though, is I like the kind of elaborate insult. Because too often nowadays, people just say, oh, you plonker, and that's it. And I like, a clever insult. Like, Dr. Samuel Johnson in the 18th century, right? His friends gather round. If it's their time, sit cross-legged
I
on
love
the
Samuel
floor.
Johnson, he's so hot right now.
Yeah. So, I've gone even further back than Lonnie Donegan. That's what's happened this morning. Anyway, so his close friend James Boswell says to Dr. Samuel Johnson, let's go get a boat and go on the Serpentine on Sunday morning. Have a little bit of a row. It'd be lovely. What he didn't tell him, there was a tradition on the Serpentine is a piece of water in Hyde Park. He didn't tell him there's a tradition that people would go with their boats on the Serpentine on a Sunday morning and insult each other. Right? That was the thing. So everyone knew about it except Dr. Johnson. So he's on the boat with Boswell, and this group of young students go past, and one of them says, you are like an enormous fat bear. I can smell your sweating carcass from here. So, waiting for Johnson doesn't say anything. Someone else comes and says, you, sir, are as ugly as a terrible, malformed oak tree, and all these kind of weird... So the next one they go past, Samuel Johnson turns to this bloke and says, sir, your mother, under the pretext of keeping a bawdy house, is a receiver of stolen goods. Now, that's what I call an insult.
That is an insult, I like that.
And I think what we should ask our viewers... well, they're not really viewers, are they, unless they
You're
sit
not on
looking at the
TV,
radio. They
Frank.
might look at the radio. No, I'm not on TV anymore. Why bring that up? I've already mentioned the Brits this morning. Are you trying to crucify me? So, yes, I'd like you to know any really good insults you've... Now, if you send really rude stuff, obviously we can't read them
Yeah.
out. And if it's really big insults about us, we'll be upset. I can't think of anything else. I'll give you one I think I'm most proud of. Is I once did a gig, and there was this very right-on... can I use the word? Hold on just a minute. Yes, I can. Lesbian comic. Not as any... I love them. Not all of them. I met two.
That sounds weird. Just say what happened.
No, okay. So I did some stuff, and I didn't think it was anything. It was quite ribald, and she came up to me after and said, I thought some of that material you did was verging on the offensive. And I said, there's only one virgin on the offensive in this room.
Oh,
and it was,
fine.
there was no need for it. But I thought it was quite clever, I must admit. Anyway, if she's listening, no hard feelings.
Absolute
Radio.
Frank, our listeners are coming up trumps with the insults.
Are they texting us with their favourite insults on 8, 12, 15? Is that what
They
you're
are.
telling me? I say on 8, 12, 15.
My favourite so far is from Hugh Markham, who says, Dear Frank...
No, you, Markham. I hate these lazy teachers. My day, they were more dedicated.
Dear Frank and team, I heard this insult the other day. You're so fat, when you fell down the stairs, I thought EastEnders was ending.
Oh, marvellous.
Isn't that brilliant?
It is very good.
Very good.
There's another one. Behold thy mirror as thou art a beslubbering beef-witted canker blossom.
Yes. Do you think that's Shakespeare or something, or just
Well, it
who
sounds
sent
like
it
it.
in?
They've remained anonymous.
No, I hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
Tom from Harrow texted in, your village just called their idiot is missing. Which is,
I like it.
Yeah, I like
Do
it.
they still have village idiots?
Oh, yeah.
Not since she won Britain's Got Talent. She didn't win, actually. She came second, to
Oh,
be fair.
Frank!
I'm just trying to be fair to her. She didn't win. She came
Frank!
second.
It's
Don't
been
give me
so-
that look.
Oh, my
She won't
God.
be listening. She's not up this time of the morning. She's in a tree covered in body paint with a severed limb of a,
Oh, my God.
a member of JLS in her
Oh,
hands.
no, stop,
Don't
stop.
come near, get away from me! I'll kill you all!
I had a dream.
Okay. So,
Oh, I've got another one I like. You, sir, Mr. Skinner, wear a wool's shirt for fun and frolics while singing The Wanderer.
how did he know that? That must be an ex-girlfriend. Who sent that? Is that anonymous as well?
That's another anonymous one. That's the ghost of Dr. Johnson, I think.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we'll keep them coming in. I'm loving the
They're
insults.
great.
And I'll tell you, I'm always impressed by how bright our listeners are.
Yes, me too.
Because, I don't know,
Emily, you need to sound convincing when you say that sort of thing.
we get some really clever stuff coming in. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyway, I think it's time for an Ethan update. As you may know, Gareth is the only one of the three of us who is not barren. And, I heard that is the sound of his child cry. I always think when I play this that someone at home is thinking, oh no, that's the baby alarm.
Yeah. Why is it crying? What's wrong with it?
Well, that was from quite a long time ago, but he has
Okay.
been crying recently for a strange reason.
Okay.
Oh.
Right, you know,
Phone the police. I'll keep him talking.
I don't like football.
No, I know you don't
I
like
don't
football.
like football
Okay.
even a little bit. But I thought, because he hasn't got a ball yet.
Okay. How old is he now?
He's 7 months.
Oh, okay.
Does it talk yet?
He. I think you have to say
sorry.
he. I've been corrected on that many times. They don't like the it thing. Parents.
He's not talking yet, so he can't really communicate apart from crying or smiling or making facial expressions.
Right.
It reminds me of my drinking days.
So we got him a little foamy football.
Okay.
Because quite small, and at first, he seemed fine with it. When we bought it in the shop, it was still on its netting, and we put it on his thing, and he seemed to like it. When we got it home, he basically won't have it anywhere near him. If you bring it out, he is visibly scared of it,
Goodness.
and then if you put it right by him, he cries.
He's
And you know how chilled out he is.
football-phobic.
He's
Really?
scared of footballs.
Oh, no, he'll never have an affair with a French lingerie model at that rate. Maybe, and he was all right with it when it was in its netting.
Yeah, early on.
Maybe he's going
I
to be an
don't-
assistant manager. Does he like putting cones out?
Is it very cheap fibre? Maybe it's the fibres he's
foam.
injecting.
It's foam.
It
Oh,
might
it's
be
foam.
the texture. The only other thing he's been a bit like it with was a pine cone, where he
Right.
kind of very tentatively touched it and didn't like the texture. But we've tried it with other balls as well.
Right.
Different coloured footballs.
Cricket, rugby.
Well, no, we
Just
did.
trying to find out what his favourite sport is
we did.
early on.
We did another football and a rugby ball, and it was the same. You won't have them near him. I don't know if can you pass things down genetically? Have I passed down my fear of football?
I'm not sure about this, but I think you can pass things down genetically. I think I've read that somewhere. Anyway, well, that's a strange tale, I must say.
If any of the listeners can
God,
help with
I
that,
thought it ended. Turns out
no.
there's some sort of coda.
His anecdotes run and run.
Yeah, they do. Well, yes, if any listeners can help with that, I don't know.
because he can't tell us what his feelings about it are.
No.
What's wrong with him?
Well, can't you get him a notepad? We've got to move on. I think we've got Mark Little coming on after the news, and we've got some... Actually, I'm going to dedicate this to my lovely girlfriend, Kath.
Aw.
Partly because it's called Running Up the Hill, and she does run as she listens to this programme.
Oh, does she?
And she's got a little radio thing. And also, she loves Kate Bush.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
That's the phone call I dread. So, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, with Gareth, and we've got Mark Little coming in.
Oh, I like
shortly.
him.
Yes, and we've been asking people to text in on 8, 12, 15 their favourite insults. Have we had any more insults?
Yes.
I know we get a lot of insults on a Saturday morning, but it's nice that they're just abstract ones rather than aimed at any of us
We've got
directly.
insults turned to flattery. You remind me of a big fat jammy donut. Your arrival gives me pleasure and your departure makes me hungry for more. From George.
No, I'm worried that George uses that as a chat-up line. That's what I'm worried about. And I've never done the chat-up line thing. I really struggle with it.
I've got another chat-up line. Ian Kennington, are you two sisters? Where's Cinderella?
That's a good insult. I think we've hit a rich vein with the insults.
Yeah.
John from Wootton, I don't know what that word is. I once heard someone described as having a face like a clumsy beekeeper.
Oh, marvellous. Speaking of lumps, did you see Posh Spice's? I'll call her Victoria Beckham. Victoria Beckham's bunion this week.
Oh, yes.
That was
I've seen the bunions.
Hell of a bunion.
It's a big old bunion.
In fact, she's so skinny and the bunion was so big, it looked more like Victoria Beckham was growing on the bunion than vice versa. She looked like like a stalk emerging from an egg with just a toe left trapped. That's what it looked like.
It does happen with heels, Frank, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but she's a rich woman. You'd think if she said, I've got a bunion, let's get that sorted. There'd be.
Have the surgery.
I imagine there's a plastic surgeon who lives in the house with them, like some people have a nanny who just comes in and would shave a bunion off in 10 minutes.
Great idea.
That bunion's on eBay. Suddenly they've got even more money. I was thinking now, what I love about it, it's such an old-fashioned working class thing for Victoria Beckham to have. That's what I mean. You'd think she'd have something much more modern.
Yeah.
Than that. It reminds me of when I had this lump on my wrist, and I was seeing a physiotherapist about it, and she said, "Oh, it's a ganglion."
Ganglion?
Exactly. And I said, "What is that?" She said, "Oh, it's the very old things. You need to eat it with a Bible." I thought, well, it must be a fairly old illness if that's the cure.
What sort of a doctor did you go to?
Well, that was a physiotherapist, so I thought I'll go and see my doctor.
Oh, okay.
Because that makes sense. And I went to see my doctor, and I said, I think I've got a ganglion. And he said, oh, yeah. He said, you need to eat it with a Bible. And I thought, hold on a minute. You're a doctor. It was like a private doctor as well. Yes, I own up to that. In the end, I went to see a specialist about it to have it removed because it was really quite painful. And because I tried it with a... Well, I didn't have a Bible.
Was it not a Bible?
Enough.
Was it a Jackie Collins novel?
No, it was a Collins English Dictionary. It was a big one. And I laid... Because it was on my left hand, so I could have a good swing with my right hand. And I hit it, and it really hurt.
Oh.
I mean, it really hurt, but it didn't pop. And I was really swung this... And I hit it again, still didn't pop. So I did this thing. I thought I'll hit the wall with it, and I did it in a kind of I didn't just steadily line it up and then hit the wall. I sort of walked past the wall as if I was going to kick, and then I suddenly hit the wall. Like I'd sneak up on the ganglion. You know, like when Nazis are they're interrogating someone and they just walk away and give them a quick slap like that.
Or try and do the salute in a very small room.
Yes. Well, I could... Anyway, it didn't go, so I went and saw a specialist. And I said, can you believe, I said, some people say I should hit it with the Bible. And he said, this is the 21st century. Can you believe people would say that? He said, I think you need to hit it with a book representing all the great world religions. I thought, everybody's a comedian.
Comedy from the specialist.
Oh, no, yeah. Anyway, speaking of the world religions, it's been a big week for the Pope. He's been in the news. And this week's fall track... is actually about John Paul I. I'm not making this up. This is Hey Luciani.
Absolute
Radio.
We have been joined by Mark Little.
Good morning, all. Oh,
Oh, that's not
Take me
patronising.
back. Take me back.
We don't want to stereotype you in any way.
No, of course now, but can you tell what it is yet?
You can never tell what it is, can you, with a didgeridoo? What is it?
What is that?
I was just moaning about the fact they don't play tunes.
No, no, it's the world's first instrument, wasn't it?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
Must
believe
be.
that.
Civilization.
Can I say Mark's the most
actually,
friendly person we've
It was
ever
the second
had?
one, because... The what?
You're the most friendly person we've ever had in the studio.
Hold on, he could turn.
Really? I
He
could
did.
turn.
He came in and went, good eye.
Oh, well, you know, what else am I going to say?
One more Australian stereotype he could crack. What's that, Skip? There you go. It's off.
She'll be right.
So, Mark, me and Emily, we had a bit of an outing the other night, and we went to see your show.
Oh,
Yeah.
groovy, good on you.
Oh, we loved it.
Oh, that's good, yeah, it's a good show, it's fun.
Gareth didn't come 'cause he lives in Bournemouth. I don't want you to think that he couldn't. He
No,
couldn't be
fair enough,
bothered.
it's a long way to come.
It is a long
We'll
way
be
to
heading down his way. with it.
Exactly, he can catch you on tour.
Yeah, indeed.
So, Mark is in the West End at the moment at the Leicester Square Theatre.
Indeed.
With Defending the Caveman.
Yes.
So, what's it about, Mark?
Oh, mate, Defending the Caveman. It is one of the worst names for a piece of theatre in the world, Defending the Caveman, but basically that's what I'm doing. The caveman's got a bad reputation. And as a bloke, it comes from my perspective, you know, as a bloke who's lived through the 70s and women's liberation and all that. And back then, being considered a caveman, descended from caveman, which we all men were descended from, it's embarrassing because the caveman's got a bad reputation. You know, bit of a minger, bit of oafish, stupid, club a woman on the head, drag her out the cave. But that never happened, all that stuff. That's cartoon stuff. The facts are the caveman was a protector and a provider, and he worshipped women, and men and women worked together on things. And there were differences as hunters and gatherers. And yes, we're equal, but we're not the same. So the show is trying to explain men to women.
And the shows, I mean, it's, as you say, it's about the differences between men and women. And I
Yes.
don't think I've ever been at any show where there were so many couples nodding each other and going, well, that's you.
You do that.
Quite unbelievable piece of theatre, that. Nudge, nudge, nudge,
They
nudge.
kept doing it. It was. I mean, I've never seen anything that tuned into that thing. So there was two couples sitting ahead of us who constantly were going, God, you do that. And it was, it's unbelievable.
And it's all over the room, and a lot of women are seeing that, oh, look, that they're laughing over there. Oh, it's not just my bloke.
Yeah.
It's everyone's bloke. So there's all this relief and release going on, because it's through the PC period, the political correct period, a lot of this stuff didn't get talked about, because you didn't know how to quite bring up the issue.
Yeah.
And so this bloke dared to write this play and go, look, let's put a few things on the line, a couple of home truths. And by the end of this show, I've never done a piece of theatre where people are canoodling up and lovey-dovey all...
Frank and I weren't doing that.
No,
fair enough.
we weren't doing that.
You're not linked, though, are you?
No, but I mean, you're suggesting it could have brought us together. You've gone too far.
No, I'm talking about the couples that you're
okay.
referring to. It does get very... There's a lot of love in the room at the end of it. It's very simple human politics, and people really respond really well.
Well, I honestly felt that some of them were quite relieved to hear that their problems were everybody else's problems. So there was a bit of therapy in it as well. But I should point out that mainly it's funny.
Yeah.
It is an entertainment.
It's educational as well, but there was people were absolutely falling about.
Well, Relate are onto it. Relate, the marriage counselling folk. They do recommend people to go and see this play. They say,
that right?
Yeah, it's part of their sort of remit. And originally, when it was written way back in the early 90s, it did have a little bit of because it was American, it did have a little bit of Oprah Winfrey about it, a little bit of theatre as therapy, which the Americans seem to be able to cope with. But an English-British audience is not going to go to the theatre for therapy. So it has to be entertaining, and then underlying is this... There's this like bit of an enlightenment. I get 50, 60-year-old blokes come up to me at the end of the show and say, "Mate, thanks for explaining me to myself." And a lot of women, well, they just laugh like drains, don't they?
Well, I went to
It's
Relate.
quite-
They never told me to go. They recommended I go to the Taming of the Shrew.
That's on the NHS, that is it?
Exactly.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Mark Little is our guest today. We're talking about his... what is it? It's a show, and
Yes,
it's called
it is. Thank
Defending
you.
the Caveman, and it's at the Leicester Square Theatre. Well, till when, Mark?
Till when? We've got 3 weeks, so that's 3 weeks from 2 more weeks after this week. So
Okay, and then you take it nationwide.
yeah, we go out again. We go out again for the spring tour. We're actually doing Dubai first. I went to Dubai.
I think it's broke.
It's very-
Have they got no money there
Apparently
now?
not.
I'll
Apparently, but there's
get
one
paid in
theatre there.
advance.
There's a theatre and a few people wandering around looking for something to do.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, so we're going.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious because a lot of South Africans, expats, and then these blokes come in with these harems and all these burqa women sit there and you think, oh, I wonder if they're enjoying it. You think, I think they're
Well,
jiggling
John
up and down.
Terry and his wife are heading out there, so
good.
Well,
I
there
think
you go.
they'd love it. They'd love it, wouldn't they?
Oh, they're going to have a
They need
great
some
time.
counselling.
Oh, he's going to have a
Between men
great
and
time,
women.
isn't he? Yeah, he should come along.
That'll be a great show.
Oh, that'll be a lovely holiday for them, I'm sure.
There's a thing that you talk about in, as I was saying, if you're in a couple, you really should, or as you always say, if you're single anyway, but couples seem to be particularly loving it. And there's a thing where you're talking about, like if you're watching the telly, if a bloke's watching the telly, he just wants to watch the telly and nothing else. There's a thing, when I'm in bed with my girlfriend, yes, we do.
Of course.
We both read, right? And I'll be reading and she'll start talking to me and I'll say, I'm reading, and she'll say, so am I.
Yeah, can't you multitask?
Look, that's where the play is very clever. It talks about the men and women as two completely... We've got different histories. That men were hunters and women were gatherers. So if we look at the hunter, what the hunter's job was, is it's the hunter's job to concentrate on their prey to the exclusion of everything else in the whole world until it's dead. Men are good at that. And that's why blokes do have to turn down the car radio when they get lost.
Yeah.
You know, I can't look, turn that off. I can't look and hear. Settle down.
I do it for parking as well. If I'm parking, I think I have to turn the radio off.
You have to turn the radio
And
down.
when they're finding a number in a street, is it 142? Oh,
Yeah.
let's turn it down.
Turn it down. Or some blokes have been known to follow their sat-nav over a cliff.
Yeah.
It has happened. So blokes can zone in like that. And it seems to affect everything we do. And like that's what happens with the telly. Blokes don't just watch the telly, they become the television. And so Kath, my wife, she can be talking to me and I can't even hear her voice. I can hear this buzzing sort of thing in the background. And it's not until she's right there saying, I know you can hear me talking to you. And I come out of the telly and go, well, what do you want? She said, well, nothing. And storms off and it's all kicks off because... Oh, I'm sorry, I was zoned into tractor pulling on the...
It's a very interesting idea, though. So because she would have been a gatherer in the caveman, she'd have had to be looking all around the place.
And notice everything all at once. And the play is saying that this is how we survived. If a man can concentrate and narrow his focus, he can protect the tribe. And if a woman can... be aware of everything else, she can make sure he didn't get killed while he's doing it.
And that's why Mark says that's why we like shopping.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's why we shop differently.
Yeah.
I mean, we like shopping, but if a shirt wears out, I get on the high street, I hunt down a new shirt.
Well,
shirt dead
Mark,
now.
I think it might be time.
It's time for a new shirt. Some giveaway down the pub. Beauty, new shirt. But women they can go out without a defining, goal. They can go and wander and discover, and that's what wears me out personally. It's like, I need a mission, bit personally. And then within the play, there's stuff that happens to blokes and not some, it's not necessarily everything is for every person, because there are things in it, that don't necessarily match up with me as what they talk about the bloke, but it's trying to take a sort of a general...
Oh, well, it definitely...
The ordinary fella, the ordinary woman.
It's very, both funny and educational.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
So what do you think... it's been in the papers this week about men at work, which to me was, I think, my first awareness of what Australia was about was that song Down Under.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, when did that come out originally? Was that what
That was about 79,
Yeah, we
80.
looked it out, 81,
Yeah,
82,
okay.
yeah. And then it was big when Australia won the America's Cup in about 88, I don't know when it was, something around.
What is the Americans? Is that yachting?
It's a yachting cup, for
What
goodness
could
sake.
be big during a yachting cup?
Oh, mate.
What's happened to Australia?
Exactly.
They're
That's
still
when
trying to get away.
That's when Australia turned. We didn't used to be a flag-waving nation until we won that stupid cup, and
Is
we
that
were all
right?
supposed to care about it. And then out come this song, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And then the other day we all learned, the Kookaburra song's in there, is it? Oh, so we better have a go and have a listen.
You see, I learnt the Kookaburra song because you can probably tell from my accent, Mark. I grew up in Australia.
Oh yes, it's very very
it's
strong.
clear. I'm surprised you haven't broken into the Kookaburra song.
I thought Alf
By
from
now.
Home and Away had actually sneaked in. You bludger!
You flaming mongrel.
Oh, there you go. It's all there.
But it's true, Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. It's sad, isn't it? It's really
Come on,
sad.
give us a verse.
Okay, Mark, 1, 2, 3.
Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, Mary, Mary, king of the bushes, he. Laugh, Kookaburra, laugh, Kookaburra, gay your life must be. Brilliant, that works really well on the round. And now we have to pay someone 60%. 60% who doesn't even own the song, didn't it? She wasn't a good. They weren't good. Gosh, she's gone. That
But they're
woman.
dancing in the streets in Earl's Court.
Oh, they are.
This morning. That's fabulous news. Imagine all those backpackers out there.
Absolute Radio.
Snow Patrol, just saying yes. We're going to need them again this week, apparently, according to the weather forecast.
Oh, no. What am I going to do about my shoes?
Well, I might go for the male Og.
Oh, no, don't do that, Frank. It's very Ronnie Wood.
Okay. It was just a thought. So,
We've had a couple of insults in, Frank,
oh, good.
on 8, 12,
We're asking for
15.
people's favourite insults, but it's too late now, don't bother.
I like, you're so far in the closet that your best friend is called Aslan from
Do you
Man
think-
Mountain.
Do you think
I
that
like
might be a gay remark, generally speaking?
I do.
I'm liking it, though.
I think so. On the same line, getting ready for a night out with my male gay friend, my 3-year-old saw me in a dress and said, "Mummy, you look like a princess." And then he turned to my friend and said, "And you look like the Queen."
What, his 3-year-old?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying things like that at 3. What's wrong with you? Why weren't you?
Well, I
can
just
imagine.
think it's a bit forward. I wouldn't dare say a thing like that.
So Hywel, Hywel, H-Y-W-E-L. I
Yes.
should be able to say
Hywel.
that. The milkman. You have a face like a bucket of smashed crabs.
You do. I find that is a comeback to any insult. Just try me. Just try me on another one of those insults. Today.
You have a
today,
face like a blind cobbler's thumb.
You do. You see? Automatically, it's turned on them. We're speaking about some of our unusual ailments. I think it's all right to mention this on radio. Hold on.
Check the manual.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I have this blackhead, right? A returning.
Oh my God.
A returning blackhead.
I feel absolutely sick.
I wouldn't just mention a blackhead on breakfast radio. But
Oh my
this is
God.
a weird. This one is
God.
it won't go away. Every 6 weeks or so, my girlfriend says, "Oh, it's up again." I say, "It's not me," and she says, "No, the blackhead," and she. It's just here on my neck. I don't know if it's up at the moment.
Oh my
or not.
God,
No,
I
but
don't
just
want to
one.
see it.
No, but it's an incredible thing because she goes at it with, I must say, with gusto. Who I don't know if you know is that Brazilian midfielder. And what he I don't know. I never asked him to stay. You know, he's just because he grins all the time. You know, and provides a carnival atmosphere. He thinks he's all right. Anyway, she does that thing where I say, "Be careful," and she says, "You know, just say stop, and I'll stop straight away." And I'll go, "Stop, stop, stop," and she'll go, "It's coming now," and then doesn't stop. And when it comes out, it's not like what you'd expect. It's like if you can imagine.
Oh, I feel absolutely bilious.
If you can imagine a flesh curtain.
Oh my God.
With a unicorn breaking through, with its twisted horn steadily emerging. That's what it's like. It's as sturdy as a twisted unicorn horn.
That is the most disgusting thing you've ever said. Actually, it's not.
No,
That's
it's probably on
quite
air. Okay, I'll take it
gross.
back. But it won't go away. She's obviously never got to the root. I suppose it's like a unicorn. You snap the horn off, 6 weeks later it's grown back again. I don't know if you find that. I don't know. Why the Brazilian had to bring his pet is beyond me.
It sounds more like a sort of conjoined twin than a blackhead.
Yes. Oh, no, I hope we're not dispersing human life casually in that way. Anyway, can I say my favourite story of this week was the Portsmouth football manager, Avram Grant, was seen leaving... let me...
Oh, can we say this?
A house of ill repute. That's what we have to say. A house of ill repute. Known as Foo-Foos. It's a massage parlour in all also known as Unit 1, which is particularly romantic.
Oh, Unit 1.
Yeah. Not Eunuch 1. I think Eunuch 1 is the bloke who shows you in. Eunuch 2 is the bloke who shows you out. Anyway.
So if you see that on your husband's credit card statement, worry.
Yeah, exactly. But he was seen leaving by tabloid journalists. And the man said, are you familiar with the fact that this place is a brothel? And Avram said, yeah. What a fabulous approach. And they asked his wife about it, and she said, well, you know, he does do what he likes, as long as he's getting a nice massage.
She actually said, the only anger I have is that he does not go to have a Thai massage every day.
Yes, we don't know that he doesn't go every day,
No.
obviously, but, yeah. So that's, I don't know about you, but I'm so far into the dark world of prostitution that my best friend is called Avram. Anyway, Ben Jones is coming up next. There's no connection, can I make that absolutely clear? Although he has a nautical air, and it does involve Portsmouth. I think that's it for this morning. It's been lovely talking to you all. Thank you for all your texts, and Mark Little was nice. And, yeah, we're doing an extra podcast this week, by the way. We're doing a midweek podcast, so if you just can't get enough of us, do that. Ben Jones coming up. Good day to you.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.